Here's the thing. Michael and I were not in an intimate romantic relationship. Michael and I were just colleagues. He identified as a white man, just as I identify as a black woman. And the issues, experiences, and feelings that I was bringing up all centered around race and race relations in our country. Michael's whiteness and his inability to hear me when I was bringing up these concerns are really what ruined our relationship.
I realized that fighting for women's rights has too often become synonymous with man-hating. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that this...
As a white person, I was raised to be racially illiterate, and I actually think all white people are raised to be racially illiterate in this culture. And in gaining racial literacy, I have had to understand not just the collective dynamics and dimensions of racism, but how racism impacts different groups who are perceived and defined as people of color, how it impacts them differently. Right? So not all peoples of color.
Mentioned white people who care about racial equality and care about social justice. But when they try to engage in conversations about race, they either don't know how to do it effectively, or when they do, they operate as more of an abuser than as an ally.
This seemed uncomplicated to me.
So
why has the word become such an uncomfortable one? That feminism has
whiteness, 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 whiteness,
is a form of racial oppression. Sure. The suggestion is that it is somehow possible to separate whiteness from oppression. And it is not. There can be no white race without the phenomenon.
Whiteness, 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 whiteness.
All right. So my point is, I can be in this room experiencing sexism and patriarchy, and I can be in this room perpetrating racism. You want to be the one that goes in there and helps those white women see their racism? Does that sound good?
Whiteness.
All by yourself? They need some diversity.
Whiteness. Whiteness. Whiteness.
We're trying to educate, and we're all telling you that we still on a daily basis experience racism, microaggressions, and if we're going to change this, you ladies, you white women, listen.
Women don't actually land any more softly on people of color. And I think when we don't back people of color, the betrayal and the hurt is deeper. Because we have a potential way in, and we use it often as a way out. If you don't think I'm an angry feminist, ask the poster boy for white fragility over here.
Beautiful things that people who happen to have European heritage have built. There's art, there's music. There are all these things that are actually held up as world standards because of racism.
You've got to listen and hear us.
Whiteness.